Good morning, guys. It's the Bug Guy, Mr. Jackson. I'm here. We're going to do a few different videos for you today. And the first one that I want to talk about are all the different types of bugs that live in and around a pond. And we're going to talk about a certain number of bugs. I'm going to show you some really cool bugs. And then we're going to go outside to my own pond and we're going to look in the water and see if we can find some bugs out there too. Okay? So I've got my collection of different types of bugs right here. And in just a second, you're going to see a lot of these up close and personal. But I want to go across the top of the frame up here. The first one up here, this is called a salmon fly stonefly. The next one here, a couple different types of dragonflies that live around a pond. We have the casing of a salmon fly. That's kind of what it looks like when it's a baby before it hatches out and turns into that big ugly thing up there. We also have the mayflies, and we're going to talk about all these guys in just a minute. Next one's over here, that's a marsh fly. We also have damsel flies, and then we have everybody's not favorite, they're called mosquitoes. Next one's over here, we have stoneflies. We have the baby of a dragonfly, it's called a nymph. We also have whirligig beetles. We have water boatmen, and then we have the water skipper or the water strider also. And then the type of bugs that live in the water, this is one of my favorites over here. It's called the water tiger, and eventually that big water tiger, it will turn into this thing over here. It's called the water scavenger beetle. But also underwater we have a lot of different types of critters that make their own homes. This is the caddisfly casing. We also have the caddisfly casing over here, and these are made out of rocks and twigs, all different types of things. We also have crawling water beetles, and we also have the baby mosquitoes. They're called mosquito larvae. And the neat thing about the bugs in a pond, you have bugs that live on top of the water, up in the air. You have some bugs that live right on the surface of the water, and you have bugs that live under the water also. Now the dragonflies, those are very important bugs because their job is to eat mosquitoes. And we don't like mosquitoes because they suck your blood and they cause a lot of diseases too. But also, we have our friend the mayfly over here. And the weird thing about a mayfly, it only lives for 1 day, about 24 hours, and then it dies. So they don't live very long. But damselflies are a cousin to the dragonfly, and they also eat mosquitoes, and they eat the larvae of the mosquitoes, the baby mosquitoes that live in the water down here. Now, on the surface of the water, we have water boatmen, and they're called boatmen because they have, it looks like little oars sticking out the side of their bodies, and they row through the water very, very quickly. But we also have his cousin over here, they're called water skippers or water striders. And they just kind of skate right over the top of the water. Pretty cool looking bugs too. But one of my favorites are the whirligig beetles. And if you watch these beetles for too long, it'll make you sick because they go in a figure 8 on the surface of the water. And the really neat thing about them, they actually have 4 eyes. 2 of the eyes are above the water, the other 2 eyes are below the water. So that means that they can see above and below all at the same time, which is a pretty good trick too. But then underwater, one of my favorites is the water tiger over here. And this guy, he kind of looks like a caterpillar, but he's a very mean caterpillar because he will eat anything. Could be a frog, could be a fish, could be a tadpole, anything that moves, they will attack it. But the neat thing about the water tiger happens when he turns into that big water scavenger beetle. Now, not only will he eat live animals, but he will attack dead things too. So his job is kind of the cleanup crew underwater. And they can fly also. So they fly from one pond to another. And if you get too close to them, if you're wading in the water, they will bite your toe too. So the nickname for the water scavenger beetle is the toe biter. A lot of cool bugs that live in a pond. Okay, now we're going to take you outside and show you our own pond too. All right, here we are outside at my own pond. It's got the waterfall. It's got a lot of different types of plants in the water. So come on over. We're going to look in the water too. Okay. Now, if you look at the surface of the water here, you see a lot of bubbles, and those are coming from the waterfall. It's putting air into the water, and if you look really closely at the water, you might be able to see some little tiny fish too. Next time you go to a pond with mom and dad, take your boots, take a fishing net with you, dip in the water, see what kind of live bugs you can find. Okay? See you next time.